Welcome to The Explainer. We're going to dive into one of the biggest and, frankly, most frustrating challenges in AI today, making it remember. We're going to break down exactly how we can go from a forgetful tool to a genuinely intelligent personal assistant. So you've probably had this happen, right? You have this amazing, super detailed conversation with an AI. Maybe you solve a really complex problem together. But then, the next time you chat, it has no idea who you are. It's like you're a complete stranger. It's like hitting a reset button every single time, and it's super frustrating. So, what's the deal? Well, here's the core problem. Large language models, at their heart, are what we call stateless. Now, that sounds technical, but all it really means is that every single interaction is a totally clean slate. Outside of the conversation you're having right this second, they have absolutely zero memory of you or anything you've ever talked about before. So, let's really get into this whole amnesia problem. We're going to dig into why this happens, and, the really cool part is we'll unpack the brilliant engineering that's actually being used to solve it right now. And the solution is this really cool discipline called context engineering. And look, this is way more than just writing a good prompt. It's about dynamically building the entire universe of information the AI needs to understand what's going on for every single turn of a conversation. It's a game changer. One of the best ways to get your head around this is with a cooking analogy. Seriously, if you've ever seen a chef on TV, you've seen exactly what I'm talking about. It really is all about the prep work. A great chef doesn't just, start grabbing random stuff out of the fridge. No, they meticulously prepare every single ingredient before they even think about turning on the heat. That's called mise en place. Well, context engineering is the mise en place for AI. It gets all the right information ready and perfectly prepped before the AI even starts to think. And here's what's so cool about this. It's not a one-and-done thing. This whole process is a continuous loop that happens every single time you talk to it. So for every turn in the conversation, the agent fetches the right context, it prepares it, it sends it to the AI model, and then, and this is the crucial part, it uploads any new information back into its storage. It's this constant cycle of fetching, thinking, and learning. Okay, so to really understand the ingredients we're talking about here, we need to break down two core ideas. Let's start with something called a session. A session, think of it like your temporary workbench when you're working on a project, right? It's got all your current notes, your tools, the back and forth of the conversation. It's all right there, super accessible. But it's all just for the one task you're working on right now. But okay, what happens when the project's done? You don't just shove that entire messy workbench into a closet. That'd be chaos. You need a place to file away the important stuff for later. And that brings us to the second key piece of the puzzle, memory. So if the session is the workbench, memory is the long-term filing cabinet. This is the secret sauce. It's the system that grabs all the key info from all your different sessions and saves it. This right here is what makes real personalization possible. It's how you turn a generic, one-size-fits-all chatbot into a personal assistant that's an expert on you. Okay, now this is a really important point, especially if you've been following the AI space. You've probably heard of a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. It's everywhere. And you might think it sounds a lot like memory, but their jobs are actually totally different. Here's the simplest way to think about it. RAG is like the AI's research librarian. Its job is to go out and fetch facts about the world from a giant library of documents. But memory? Memory is the personal assistant. It holds that little black book of notes with facts specifically about you. One is an expert on the world, the other is an expert on you. And check this out. This diagram shows how it all works together perfectly. See? Down at the bottom, you've got the session. That's the raw data from your chat. The memory manager takes that and learns about you. Then, up top, you have the RAG system feeding in all that external knowledge about the world. And the agent? It's sitting right there in the middle, like a conductor, orchestrating all these different information streams to have a conversation that's actually, intelligent. Okay, so this brings up a really big question, right? You've got all this messy conversation data flying around in the session. How in the world does the agent figure out what's actually important enough to file away in its long-term memory? I mean, it can't save everything. Well, it does it using this really slick automated pipeline. You can almost think of it like it has another AI model whose only job is to be the librarian for its own memory. And this whole process is designed to do one thing: turn all that messy conversational noise into clean, structured knowledge that it can actually use later. It's like turning straw into gold. Let's break that pipeline down. It's basically 4 steps. First, it just sucks in all the raw conversation data. That's ingestion. Then step 2, it uses an LLM to pull out the meaningful bits, extraction. The third step, and this is so important, is consolidation. This is where it merges new info with old memories, gets rid of duplicates, and even fixes contradictions. And finally, step 4, it stores that nice, clean, curated memory so it's ready for next time. And that's the magic right there. That intelligent self-curation. It means a memory manager isn't just some dumb database where you dump information. No way. It's an active system. It's using its own brain, an LLM, to constantly refine, update, and organize what it knows. And that is what allows the AI to actually learn and adapt over time. So, okay, we've gone through a lot of mechanics here. Why does any of this really matter? What's the big deal? Well, it's because by finally solving this amnesia problem, context engineering is basically unlocking an entirely new generation of what AI can do for us. This changes everything. The payoff here is absolutely massive. And this isn't just about, not having to repeat yourself. Think bigger. We're talking about an AI tutor that actually remembers which math problems you get stuck on, a fitness coach that looks at last week's workouts and adjusts your plan for today, a project manager that knows every single person on your team and what they're good at. It means these agents can learn from their mistakes, they can learn from their successes, and they get better over time. We're witnessing the shift from a dumb, forgetful tool to a genuinely persistent partner, one that grows and evolves right there with you. So all of this really just leaves us with one final and, I think, really powerful question to think about. When we move past these simple, forgetful chatbots, if you could have an AI that remembers everything, that learns from you, that evolves with every single conversation, what would you build with it? The possibilities are frankly mind-boggling, and they're just starting to unfold.